Hi, this is the group of Asia, and we're going to talk about the importance of science and culture and how they're intertwined, and not only how they have informed each other, but how important they were for each other, and how throughout the ages we can see its development from things from sundials to beams for construction to spinning wheels that can create quality thread for fabrics, beautiful fabrics. It's all really great and it's all really important. Hi, so I'm Natalie, and I'm just going to briefly talk to you about the Jantar Mantar, which is amazing piece of art, of architecture, of science and culture in India. It was created in the 1700s, and it was with the purpose to determine and measure celestial things and equinoxes and the sun and the moon because those things were very important to Indian culture and they still are today. So we still use it. And what's so cool about it is that they use math and science to create these giant structures that you can just marvel at still to this day. And they still have an actual purpose beyond just looking at them. And they're so intertwined with their culture that it's really neat to see and a great an example of how math and science and culture are one.
Hi, my name is Exida Gonzalez, and I will be informing you about how ancient Indians developed structures such as step ponds in order to create water harvesting structures. And the first step for this water structure to be built was the find of a big tree, which was an indicator of a water source. And so the first step was to dig a well near the tree to check the depth of the water and the purity of it. Then that same well was widened and lined with stone blocks on the inside. And the steps within the well were important because they helped bring together the walls, which created less evaporation of water and kept the water at a cool temperature all year round. Step ponds were an important architectural design in the ancient times because they helped the community survive through droughts and flooding. The deep underground structures helped provide and conserve water all year round.
Hi, I'm Valerie, and I will be talking about the fireworks within Asia. So, the history of Asia and the fireworks date back to some 2,000 years, and it was said that in China, fireworks were said to be originated from. So, fireworks are made from a mixture of charcoal, sulfur, and saltpeter, and gunpowder, which charcoal, sulfur, and the saltpeter were commonly found in the household within the kitchen, and the mixture was then burned and compressed in an enclosure, which was usually within a bamboo tube, and then the mixture would then explode to create this beautiful firework that we see nowadays. So since then, the firework industry, when the Europeans brought these into the new world, the new knowledge of these fireworks, it's been a globe phenomenon in how we use them, and in a lot of celebrations such as the US, how we use it within the Independence Day, and very much a bunch of celebrations, just like any country in the world.
Hi, I'm Liza Gonzalez, and I'm going to be talking to you about the Samrat Yantra, which is known as the supreme instrument, and it is the biggest sundial that is in India. It's capable of measuring time with the accuracy of 2 seconds, and it's not very different from any of the other sundials that were being made like 100 years earlier. But what sets it apart is the time accuracy, and precision that it has, because this was never able to be done before the Samrat Yantra. The Samrat Yantra consists of a gnomon, a triangle wall with its hypotenuse that is parallel to the Earth's axis, and quadrants on each side that are parallel to the equator. The time is measured by using the sun and its shadows. So when the sun passes over the gnomon, the shadow will land on a quadrant of the sundial, which will indicate the time for that local area.
Hello, my name is Shawna Gonzalez, and I will be speaking about how and why the spinning wheel is important to us. The spinning wheel originated back in India and has been a huge impact since discovered. The machine allows the thread to twine together, making yarn at a faster amount of time than it would be by hand. It is said that the yarn made by the spinning wheel is best in quality and is highly praised worldwide. Because of the spinning wheel, we are now able to produce more cotton goods such as clothing, blankets, cloths, faster than before. We are now able to produce over 10 million yards of string yarn per day. With cotton goods in high demand, the spinning wheel allows the needs to be met at a faster time. Spinning wheels has changed the game when it comes to producing cotton and yarn. The importance of the machine saves us time and produces more so we can create more cotton goods.
Culture and STEM work continue to influence each other over time, especially with the development of numbers in India. So, in Hinduism's creation story, the world was dreamed up by the Indian god of creation, Brahma. Now, Brahma's sleeping patterns were considered to be these vast stretches of history. To give a better time reference, one sleeping cycle, which is called a kelpar, it equates to approximately 4.2 billion years. And now that's actually roughly the age of the Earth, so very long stretches of time. And now to keep track of these cycles, ancient Indian culture needed numerical values assigned in some way. So in this case, Hinduism's creation story is a piece of their culture, which called for developments in their STEM work to learn more about these cycles. These records of their calculations can actually be traced back to the 4th century. Now, the earliest records of Indian mathematics reveal that instead of numerical symbols, numbers were expressed through everyday words. So, for example, instead of writing the number 2, they would write arms because we have 2 arms. And so, in that way, it made sense to them. However, the problem with this is that it didn't really provide a visual representation to complete any calculations. The biggest need for this was, once again, a culturally based reason. Merchants actually needed a better system for their sales purposes. And with this in mind, came about the symbol that we know today as zero. And so in Sanskrit, this actually translated to nothing. And so this nothing or zero became the last digit in India's first numerical symbol system. So this is another way that culture and STEM continue to influence each other. And this is how it's kind of relevant to um, I guess, the Indian development of numbers. My group found that whenever there's a new STEM development, it's probably best to put it to a cultural use, or that there's always going to be consumers that are looking forward to this, or it's going to be implemented in schools, and therefore is the new cultural need. Or it'll be vice versa, to where there's a cultural need, and so STEM developments are going to further because of it.